Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 48th edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide Live College Show from yours truly, Jetson Johnson and Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports, as we take your calls all right here on the Alabama Crimson Tide on Alabama with the Voice College Football. And let me tell you something, folks, you're going to be in for a wild ride as we take all your calls all right here. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing great, Jackson. The chat is going a lot harder than Alabama did on Saturday. We did not we did not play good at all, man. But I'm loving what the chat's bringing tonight. I mean, all we need is Godfather and Kate the Diesel Freak going back and forth. It's incredible. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got callers lined up for you guys. Three great callers. Three guys
now we got
always
four,
are showing up in our chat and on the streams. We appreciate all you guys. Can't wait to get to your calls, but yeah, definitely. We got to laugh and have a good time, man. Like that first game of the season was terrible, and like you said, nowhere to go but up. But might as well, instead of being doom and gloom, you might as well joke around and have some fun.
Oh, exactly. And we've got a perfect way to, make things go up during the down times. Basically a Great Depression, so to speak, right now. But here's something that'll make it less depressing and make you happy for all of you in Bama Nation. Especially since we gotta look good for Halloween coming up. We've got the dad hat, the trucker hat, the unisex t-shirt, the sweatshirt, the t-shirt, the polo shirt, the tumbler cup, the game day mug, and the can cooler, all from Alabama at the Voice College Football. We've got Crimson Tide Voice of College Football merch all over, all right here. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publish about the magic that it is creating all right here. And if there's some merch items that you don't see but would like to see, like say some Alabama Voice of College Football fingernail polish, Alabama Voice College Football pencils, pens, like anything else, like
Doggy bowl.
Huh?
A doggy bowl.
Yeah, doggy bowl. There we go. Doggy bowl. All of it. All right here on Alabama Voice College Football. And we will relay that message to voiceofcollegefootball@gmail.com. That I can personally guarantee. All right. So we got a huge lineup tonight. And we're going to start off with Alabama Richie. And we're going to go 8 minutes a call for each of the callers. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Hey, not too bad, you guys. Not a good game Saturday, starting off 0-1, but we have to come back swinging. It's what it is. How do you guys assess the game?
Missed opportunities all over the place.
Terrible defense. I mean, just flat out terrible defense. We talked about it on the Saturday night post game. We talked about it on Monday. And we talked about it last night on Primetime Live. Just absolutely abysmal defense. Like, everybody's wanting to blame Ty Simpson again. I understand he was not great. He made some errors, but it wasn't all on him. The defense was terrible. I mean, we saw other teams win 14-7, 17-10 in big games this past weekend. If we had held Florida State to 10 points, we win. But we didn't. We gave up 31. And I understand, like, hey, Alabama should have put up 35, 38, 42, whatever. But I blame the defense. We all said coming into this season that we felt the defense was going to be ahead of the offense. We knew Ty Simpson, there were going to be some growing pains. We didn't know how the running back situation was going to work out with the play calling. We know we got talented running backs with a healthy Jam Miller if he's able to play, and Richard Young. But we know with the way Ron Grubb and obviously Sheridan last year, the way they obviously call offense, it's not run heavy, which sucks because I feel like we could do better at the run if our O-line's better, which that's a little bit of an issue. The O-line does not seem to be entirely better. They have moments, but it seems like Ty Simpson still was pressured a lot. But the defense was not ahead of the offense. It sucked. It was terrible. The lack of effort, it was mostly lack of effort. I don't even think the scheming was necessarily awful. There were breakdowns, but it was mostly just effort. And if that doesn't improve, we're going to have a horrible season because our offense is not going to bail us out. We don't have Tua at quarterback. We don't have Bryce Young at quarterback. We don't have an elite offense. We've got good players, but we do not have the offense this year to be able to bail out our team in big games if our defense does not get better.
What you think, Jackson, before I give some thoughts?
Oh man, missed opportunities all over the place, particularly on that late hit with Thomas Castle. I was like, we
That
had a
ended the game.
chance to stack him. Like that hurt us right there. And like 4th and 8, when Simpson was looking like he was going to be running for a scamper, instead he's throwing to Ryan Williams. That was a
Which
missed
I know
opportunity.
why he did, because it's Ryan Williams, but he easily could have got the first down. I mean, it's one of those things. If he completes that, nobody's saying he should have run, but he didn't. So it's like he should have run. It's just one of those things. I mean, literally, I think the touchdown play that we had, that he passed it to Cuevas in the end zone. Literally, Simpson could have run that in. I mean, but he threw it and it was a touchdown. But what if that was incomplete? Oh, Simpson should have run that in. People are always going to say coulda, shoulda, woulda when something don't work. That's just the way it is. So Ty Simpson threw to the second arguably best receiver in college football, even though he didn't look like it in week 1. I think he was hurt a lot in that game and then got ultimately knocked out of the game. So hopefully Ryan Williams will be able to get healthy. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like Ty Simpson, you look at those type of plays, he's got to be more decisive on trying to make the right read. But again, he's not an experienced guy. I mean, we all knew this. He's not an experienced guy. Just expecting him to get thrust in and play at a high level. The defense needed to have our back, and they did not deliver.
Absolutely. So for me, the biggest problem with this team is we played way too soft. That's number one. One of the major factors I heard someone say on TikTok goes by Tyler Siskey. He was our recruitment guy when Saban was there, and he brought it up perfectly. He basically gave it like this, and I stand on it. And this is also a little bit of things AJ McCarron brought up. There's no leader on this team. There's not one player on this team that's like another Clinton Dix, a Jonathan Allen, a Reuben Foster, or Orlando McClain. There's just not. And if that guy is Tim Keenan, we really hope he shows that when he comes back, when he's healthy from the ankle surgery. Now, there was times in this game where we scored, and I just remember hearing people go, well, let's hope that the defense can come and bail us out. Now, to say that Ty Simpson was the reason we lost, to me, is a bit ridiculous. I said the same thing about Arch Manning this weekend. To say that he was the factor Texas lost was ridiculous. I could go another way with that. In our case, we didn't run the ball like we are normally known for running either, and that's a big problem. That's one of the reasons I told this to TJ on Sunday nights. The reason why they got Justice Haynes at Michigan, because he said it last year, and I even said it to you guys. Milroe was the running game. Everybody said to me, well, there was times where Simpson could have ran. You don't want another running quarterback this year, because then you're going to get the running backs not to believe, and it's going to be really bad, because to me, that'll put all the pressure back on Ty Simpson, which you do not want. Now, there was just a couple guys that stood out to me. I thought Bray Hubbard had an okay game. I thought Kevin Riley was okay, and Jeremy Bernard. But Ryan Williams, to me, I bought his T-shirt after last season from Athletes Thread because I'm so high on him. And Saturday's game for me did not show anything. He did not look like he beefed up. He looked weak out there. And one thing that I told a lot of folks that I got criticized for is it's a bad look when before the game and they show you in your suit and you got the headphones on and you're walking with an emotional stuffed animal. And I'm not trying to criticize him at all for that, because he's a very good kid. I've met Ryan Williams. I know what kind of family he comes from. But that's just not something that you want at Bama. Saban would not have allowed that. You didn't see McCarron do it. You didn't see Reuben Foster do it. You didn't see any of the OG guys do it. And there's no leadership on this team. Now, to say that it's the coaching staff's problem, to me, there's another way I look at that. Who would have taken the job after Saban that really wanted the job? Because no, there were people that turned down the job to me. And the fan base, to me, we have a fair weather fan base because when we lost this game, Simpson needs to be benched. The coaching staff's got to go. And I've heard callers and call-ins on not only Feinbaum, but just on other shows just screaming at Greg Byrne, our AD, for what kind of a hire this was. Okay, but let's go back to last year when Saban's last season, the second half of the season, Milroe improved. It was the Ole Miss game after that Kentucky game. People were wondering why Milroe wasn't a Heisman candidate. Next season, DeBoer steps in. First season, Milroe plays bad. We lose to Oklahoma, lose to Vanderbilt. Milroe he's on the list of worst quarterbacks after the Michigan game. It's like we've been spoiled. We're not getting Saban back. It's a new direction. It's a new way. So I don't want anybody to think that we're going to be bad, but we're definitely hurting right now, and we don't have a true leader on this team. And I hope we figure it out. Last bit, we'll figure it out against Monroe, and we'll figure it out against Wisconsin. They'll compete with the defense, but they won't prove anything on offense. And then our biggest test after the bye week will be Georgia because they have everything they need. So we'll see what happens, but not a good way to start the season, fellas.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say when you talk about fair weather fans, that's literally like the vast majority of the elite programs, though.
Sure.
I mean, it comes with the territory. When you're elite and fans jump on the bandwagon, I mean, you think about some of these big fan bases, like Alabama has an incredible reach. We've got fans all over the country. We've got fans that live probably in Idaho that literally have never gone to Alabama. They've never lived in the South, never lived at Alabama, they never went to Alabama, but they're fans because it's Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And then, you start sucking like we currently look like right now, and they don't want to be fans anymore. I mean, that's unfortunately just the way that it is. I mean, like Idaho, they don't have any good college football teams. They got Idaho Vandals, Idaho State, whatever the heck they are. They got nothing, right? It's like they got to be fans of some team. Washington maybe, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, Alabama has a lot of fans that are not, Alabama fans. Like, we're all Alabama fans here.
Oh, yeah.
And I might not live in Alabama, and I might not have, like, as many connections as you two probably do, but I mean, 75% of my family are Alabama fans. So it's like, it's just, and I do have relatives from there. But like I said, Alabama is going to have that problem no matter what. There's nothing we can do. Georgia has that problem. Michigan will have that problem. Ohio State, Texas. I mean, none of these fan bases want to admit it, but when you're not doing good and it's an elite program, you're going to have that. Nebraska's the exception. Nebraska will always be the exception because they suck and they continue to suck, but their fans are the entire state. They've got nothing else. They have no professional team. They have nothing. They've got Creighton basketball. They've got nothing.
Sure.
So it's
got
like
College
they will
World
always
Series.
be fans of Nebraska. No matter, they could go 0-12 for 100 years and they would still show up.
Mhm.
Seriously. That is dedication. Us, we do not have that. We have a lot of people that are not legitimately Alabama fans. So, of course, they're going to look like they're jumping off the bandwagon because of the fact that we just got boat raced against a mediocre Florida State team that actually might not be mediocre, but until proven otherwise, I'm not going to say they're great. We'll see how they do the rest of the season to prove that. But, yeah, that's just the way that it is. Every single great program has this problem. I hate it. I wish it wasn't the case. But, I mean, you can't make these people not be fans. Like, they're going to jump on, jump off whenever they want. I mean, even Indiana. The 2020 season, I remember with Indiana, I've been a fan of Indiana for a decade. They sucked and sucked and sucked. But then Tom Allen gets them, with Penix, and they're winning. People were jumping on board. Just random people. Never seen it before. and then they sucked again, gone. It's like, oh, I was never a fan. Yeah, you were. You literally were posting all over social media last year how big of a fan you were of Indiana. And with Cignetti, it's kind of happening again. It's just the way that it is. When you win games, people jump on board.
Yep.
And then they jump right back off. Wisconsin, look at Wisconsin right now. Oh, my goodness. Wisconsin's in the toilet. They can't even sell out Randall anymore. It's rough. I mean, I thought they had a pretty dedicated fan base. It's not looking that good for the Badgers right now. It's pretty ugly. I mean, they're in the toilet. They got terrible NIL. They suck. Luke Fickle's toast. He's got no shot. He's got absolutely zero shot. I mean, he's not getting any support. It's like, oh, it's his fault. I mean, I don't know. It's messed up. College sports are just kind of broken right now. I mean, that's what makes it hilarious and why we love it and why we watch it, but it's messed up. And a lot of facets.
Well, Richie, anything else you
I
got
got one more for you guys. Yeah, one more for you guys. My last bit on the game is this. It's, to me, the question was, were we overhyped coming into the season, or is FSU, I don't want to say the real deal, but is FSU a turnaround from 2-13? Because they threw up a stat line how the board has now lost the 3 scheme quarterbacks. Jackson Arnold, Pavia, and Castellanos. And FSU fans won this game, and they think that they're going to have an outstanding season now. It's whatever. Your realest game, this is their schedule: East Texas A&M, Kent State, Virginia, and then they play at home against a good Miami team who's no scrub.
Which Miami will screw up somehow.
Yep. They're going to find that Miami game is going to be the test of this Mike Norvell turn it around, because Virginia, to me, didn't do anything week 1. They just didn't. And anything that the Cavaliers do they should praise that. But once they have to really get Castellanos to throw the football, now we got beat the yardage. Now Simpson didn't have a bad stat sheet. He was pretty solid. But realistically, Castellanos, when he really has to throw the ball, and I predict the Miami game, it's going to be a completely different story, because when he really had to throw the ball at Boston College, he looked horrible and got benched. And people wonder why Castellanos transferred, because he had a bad outing with Bill O'Brien, and he had an attitude problem because he was sitting there going, like when Graham Mertz was, and I'll leave it at this, when Graham Mertz had to sit out for DJ Lagway, Graham Mertz didn't have some chip on wasn't all upset. He said, I'm going to support the guys on the team, and if I'm not giving you the best chance to win, we got to move on. And Florida turned around. So that's my last bit on the game. Just these FSU fans, too, coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, Norvell motivated his team. I mean, that's all well and good. It didn't work last year because they completely sucked. But the thing is that when I look at Alabama, they should have had so much motivation for this game. I mean, all you have to do is literally just take a piece of paper, put it on the bulletin board wall where they're in the locker room or wherever they meet and junk, and put on there what Castellano said. Just print it out. Like, I know everything's digital these days, but just put it on the wall. Put a Post-it note on there or something, man. And have Castellano saying, Saban's gone. They don't have him to bail him out. You know, I mean, the thing is, I give kudos to Castellanos for backing up his words. He backed them up. He backed them up. Good for him. But he's had a lot of issues with his career. Granted, BC's not very good, but he struggled really hard there. He would have a good game, and then the next game he was trash. That's why I'm not ready to commit to Florida State being elite or anything this year, like some people are saying, like that they're going to be a playoff team now. I'm not going all that far yet. He's got more to prove. Granted, like you said, a lot of winnable games. But, yeah, I mean, Castellanos, you make him throw, that's the sad thing. Alabama, defensively in the past, would have ate him alive.
Sure.
Because they wouldn't allowed him to do nothing on the ground. And this started under Saban. I've already mentioned this before on the Saturday night post-game show. Emory Jones. Anybody remember that guy? Emory freaking Jones ran for 200 yards on us a couple years ago when Saban was the coach. The Florida quarterback who left Florida because he was no good.
Before Anthony Richardson took over.
That's bad. That's really bad. It all declined after 2020. Our defense has been worse. Our offense has been worse. And everybody wants to act like, It's all tanked since Saban's left. No, it wasn't. We were starting to decline after 2020. It's just that Saban was so good that it kind of masked all that. But we were starting to show cracks. We talked about it then. We were not at a championship level. Milroe, I mean, we literally were this close to winning a national title. Milroe fumbled the ball. You're this close. Literally, this close. But we were a far inferior team in 2023 than we were in 2020. It was starting to go downhill. But now the problems are just way worse because we don't have Saban anymore.
Yeah.
All those cracks are just exposed. And now teams are just running all over us. Castellanos just kept doing the same crap. And I literally thought Florida State was about to blow the game when obviously Smith, our defensive lineman, screwed it up with the penalty, hitting Castellanos late. But it's like on that drive there, before that play, Florida State's previous 3 drives, they did nothing. They weren't moving the ball on offense. The play calling got really conservative. I was like, is Gus Malzahn about to choke this thing? And then when that penalty happened, he ran that reverse again, the exact same play they ran in the first quarter. And then they picked up the first down, got way in range, and then they got a touchdown. The game was over. All I know is Florida State was impressive, and yeah, they were motivated, and Castellanos backed up his words. But I think it more spoke to how bad we were. Like I said, Florida State's a good team versus last year. I mean, compared to last year, I mean, they're elite compared to last year. Just off one game. Clearly, they're better than last year by far. But they're not a world beater, I don't think. I think we sucked. I think we legitimately played like crap. And the whole team needs to be blamed. The only player that does not deserve any blame is Bernard. Everyone else deserves some form of blame. Bernard was fine. He was good. Everybody else, big L. Terrible. I don't care if they had moments. Every other player besides Jeremy Bernard should have been running laps for a long time after that crap. Horrible. Absolutely terrible. I defended Simpson. I still am defending Simpson. But everybody else was inferior. That's not the Bama standard. And if DeBoer wants to keep his job, that better get fixed or he's out. He's done. I mean, I'm not trying to go on this long rampage here, but I'm telling you, DeBoer, I don't want to put the guy on ice. I don't want to put him on the hot seat like every fair weather fan is. But if he does not turn this thing around, if we struggle against UL Monroe or Wisconsin, I mean, his seat is torching. He's not going to get fired, but can he reverse this? Because once you lose a fan base, even if they're fair weather fans, if you lose enough of the fan base, you can't get it back. Jimbo lost A&M's fan base. Once he lost A&M's fan base, he wasn't going to win it back. You can't lose a fan base.
That season that they lost to App State and supposedly had the #1 recruiting class, they lost all faith in Jimbo. My last question is this. Is it the fact that – where was I going with this? I had it trying to remember what it was super quick so we can move on to another caller. Is it the fact that – where was I going with this? Oh, is it the fact that the board didn't get on the Damani Jackson for those 2 personal foul penalties strike any concern? Because I'm sitting there with my pops watching the game, and he looks at me and he goes, what is this? Is he scared to get on to these kids because he's afraid he'll lose his talent? And they'll go, well, you're not going to talk to me? Because I remember the Mississippi State game, Saban's year with Tarion Arnold, and he got on the Tarion, and he says that's one of the reasons that made me realize that Saban teaches how to be a man to people, because he said he told me to time the blitz. I didn't do it, and I learned from that, and I went out there and played great football afterwards. DeBoer doesn't do that to anybody. That's my only real concern. I'm not jumping off the DeBoer ship yet, but I'm definitely a bit concerned with not getting on to these players, because remember the Michigan game? Justin, not the NFL Justin Jefferson, but our Justin Jefferson, coincidental name, punches that guy, and DeBoer didn't even do anything but just look at him like, how dare you? And it was a major penalty.
We had the issues with Malachi Moore last year as well.
Yep.
You know, it's just he doesn't have command of the team the way Saban had, but no coach will.
Sure.
Kirby can't do it. Dabo can't do it. Dabo's situation works at Clemson because that's a Pacific culture with Pacific players. That's why he doesn't want to infiltrate it with other guys. That's why he's so Pacific. That's why he doesn't do the portal that heavily, because he has a Pacific kind of person. I know Deshaun Watson. Everybody's going to throw Deshaun Watson. I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson. You get the point. It's a Pacific culture, whether you believe in it or not.
But at Georgia, it's not a culture thing. They just get whoever the heck they want. I mean, A&M had people smoking weed in the locker room and all this other stuff. It's these programs, and we have those issues.
Yeah.
We have tons of guys doing stupid crap. But under Saban, they did it in the NFL. They didn't do it in college. And if they did do it in college, you either got kicked off the team or you got in massive trouble. It always is the way that it happens. Saban commanded that ability. They listened. And they did what he wanted. They listened. I mean, that's a flat out. Like, you got in trouble, you got put in the doghouse like Jaleel Billingsley, and you don't turn it around, you leave. That's just the way that it works. Players like that, Saban had that ability. DeBoer can't do it. And people saying, well, DeBoer needs to punish the player. Who's going to do it? Because Kirby don't. People talk about how great Kirby is. When does Kirby ever hold his team accountable for anything?
The reckless
and he's
driving.
supposedly the number one coach in college football. So you think Ryan Day is going to do it? You think Lane Kiffin's going to do it? You think Mike Norvell is going to do it? You're crazy if you believe so. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just facts. No coach is going to get it done. The problem is that we had the best coach in history, the best coach in college football history, and now we don't. And now with NIL, we are not number one. It's not even possible. Even with Saban, we were no longer number one in the last 3 seasons of his tenure. We will never be number one again unless the coach that we currently have figures it out big time and can overcome the slight NIL disadvantage we have, or we find another coach who will. That's just the way that it is. We're not number one in NIL. That rules the land. Ohio State's kicking tail in that regard. Texas is kicking tail in that regard. Michigan is. We're not there. So we don't have the advantage that we had of having the best coach ever in college football history. It's gone. So now you have disadvantages, and DeBoer's going to have to figure out how to overcome those advantages, or he's going to get fired. And then we're going to hopefully not become Auburn, but then we're going to be rotating coaches all the time. You don't want to do that because then you just get worse.
True.
Yeah, one of the driving forces that Bama doesn't have anymore either is another Scott Cochran, if you guys remember him.
Yeah, Jackson
that's been the cause of the downfall, Scott Cochran leaving Alabama.
Well, here's something to think about with this statement. So we have the fourth quarter program at Bama. I'm going to tell a quick story and then get out of here. Scott Cochran, Saban, I heard this from Tyler Siskey that was at Bama with us as a big recruiter under Saban. He was at Ole Miss. He said it on TikTok yesterday. He said that it's not the problem. Like you don't have a Scott Cochran or a big leader. So the kick six season, we lose to Auburn the kick six. That Wednesday, Clinton Dix tore his meniscus, and he still played that Saturday game because he wanted another game of film for NFL scouts. Now, he doesn't have the greatest game. We lose, but we spend the night in Auburn. We get dropped off, and we walk from the bus back to the hotel room. We're in the lobby of the hotel room, if I remember the story right. And there was some underclassmen cutting up, and they were making whatever they were doing. Clinton Dix turns around and goes, "Hey, that's not the Bama way," and shut them up. And they didn't say another word. And one of the things that people were saying is that Saban was a figure as the man in charge, but he was able to instill that leadership for compassion for the other person so that when I'm not around, what am I doing to better somebody or hold somebody accountable? And that's what he was so good at. But to people saying, like First Take made this junky statement saying that can Saban come back and save this program? That's the most delusional thing I've heard because you're not getting Coach Saban back. I made a statement saying if Saban was even a sniff coming back to Bama, he'd have to be paid triple what he was, and he'd have to be getting more than what he had before, and it's not going to happen. Saban left for a reason because these guys he coached, like your Kool-Aid McKinstry's, your Terrion Arnold's, your Jameer Gibbs you know what all those guys have in common is that they were at Bama or came to Bama because Jameer Gibbs was a transfer from Georgia Tech. They all came to Bama to be coached to go to the next level, and you're not getting that right now. And until you get another Scott Cochran or you get a guy that's like a Clinton Dix that can yell at these guys and hold accountable, we're going to be in bad shape. So
Saban's got it made just doing what he's doing, and you don't want to do anything to possibly ruin your legacy. I mean, that's what people are like. Oh, he's going to go to West Virginia, really, or some other pro. Why? Why would
Or
you do that
Texas.
when
I've heard
literally
Texas.
you are the best coach in college football history? You've got the best resume, just legacy, everything. All that is up to the nth degree. You come back and suck in this new era. Then it all comes crumbling down. Literally, Bill Belichick's legacy is ruined. It's gone. Nobody gives a flip that he won all those Super Bowls with Tom Brady. Nobody even cares. Maybe 30 years from now, it will get fixed. People are like, oh well, we'll just overlook all of it.
they'll
He was
talk
great.
about.
But it's over.
Yeah.
People are trashing him so hard the last few years for the end of the Patriots tenure and how bad that was, the girlfriend thing, and now this UNC start to the tenure. And if that ends like crap, I mean, again, have you seen people's posts about, he should be in a Publix outfit or whatever grocery store you want to throw at him, or he should be doing lawn care or some stupid crap. People are making fun of him so hard. And then people are saying that, oh, well, his record without Brady's like 40%. You know what I'm saying? Like, this would have never happened if he had have quit when Brady left. Would have never happened. Never would have happened. That's why if you're Nick Saban, the last thing that you do is come back to college football. You have no reason to do it. You have none. Absolutely none. I don't know, man. That's why people don't understand. That's why Peyton Manning left when he won the Super Bowl, because he sure as heck wouldn't have done it again. He wouldn't have done it again. The Panthers sucked. They were a terrible team to make Super Bowl. Loved my Panthers in that era, but they were not that great, and they won. But that was it for Manning. Look at Rodgers right now. His legacy's ruined. We live in the social media age. The last thing people see is the last thing people remember about an individual. Deshaun Watson, nobody cares about Clemson. Yeah. It's all about whatever happened with this stuff that he got in trouble for. And then people talking about Aaron Rodgers. Nobody cares about his Super Bowl back in the day or the Cal days or how he overcome playing in a community college and all that other type crap. The dude's cooked. It's like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers is trash. He should quit. Don't come back, Saban. Do not come back. I swear you, do not come back, because your legacy will get tarnished in some way. It just will, because people just they just can't let you have a great career anymore. They can't do that. It's all got to just come crashing down because, again, Belichick, incredible legacy, gone. And like I said, I don't know if it will recover because people are just trashing the guy.
North Carolina has felt like a retirement home for coaches. Because Matt Brown, Bill Belichick. I feel like they're going to screw up the coaching waiting situation.
But the thing is, would this comment exist if he have left when Brady left? No. Nobody would be saying this right now.
Yeah, Belichick, to that point, has one playoff win without Tom Brady, and that was with Drew Bledsoe, starting quarterback in the 2002 AFC title game.
I'm just saying that if Bill Belichick had have left when Tom Brady left for the Bucs, if he had to just quit the second that he left, and Belichick just quit, nobody would be saying this. I agree with Bean. I do. I agree with this comment. I'm with you. But would you have said this? No, you would not have said this if he left, because nobody would have had anything to base that off of. You would have just been like, Belichick and Brady, the dynamic duo. They were completely incredible. Now it's like Brady was great because he went on to win another Super Bowl. And Belichick's a failure. Nobody's talking about all the defenses that he had those years, the defenses that he built. It's just, no, he sucks. He's trash. He's not even a good coach.
They do the
I don't know.
same
I just
thing.
think this is hilarious.
Well, Richie, we're going to get to our next caller.
Sounds good. Thank you guys.
I'm sorry, Jackson. There's just a lot to unpack here. I'm sorry.
You're good, man.
It's true. I'm with Jeffrey on this one, too. Everything was spot on. And I was just going to add Andy Reid. They don't look at anything he did with the Eagles. They only look at his legacy with the Chiefs because they have a much better team. But what do I know? But thanks for having me, you guys. Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming on, Alabama, Richie.
That's why we love talking with you, man. And we'll be seeing you next Thursday.
I'll be there. Catch you guys, or be here. Catch you guys later.
There we go. And before we get to our next card, we've got our friend Joey Foster in the chat having some fun with us, saying, howdy, Bama fans. Sorry we scared you, but we understand 2014 still bad showing for Bama and Chick-fil-A Kickoff Classic. May have won, but that rematch be just too much. Just kidding. Love you. We love you too, Joey. And by the way,
Absolutely.
very good friend of the Voice of College Football Network.
We appreciate you for
There's
being
a
in the
reason
chat
why I
tonight,
call
Joey.
him. There's a reason why I call him the Wizard of West Virginia, because he makes magic all over the place. He's like a wizard, man. I mean, it's like like if you hang out with a guy, you'll have tons of fun with him. That I can guarantee you. And oh man, there's some other comments in the chat somewhere. Inside the hoe, Dad, can I have $20 for concessions? / Jordan Hudson. Oh God.
I mean, not wrong.
Oh,
Not
man.
wrong. I mean, it's more like granddad.
Or great granddad for that matter. She probably calls him that in places we should be saying in front of kids. Alrighty, so we'll get to our next caller, Hunter. And like I said, it's 8 minutes a call. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm all right, guys. How are y'all?
Doing good.
We're doing
Appreciate
all
it.
right, man. What's on your mind tonight regarding the Crimson Tide?
So, I mean, everybody's going to talk about the negative, but I want to focus on a little bit of the positive here. Here's my thing. Is it possible that the culture actually is right and the culture is in the right direction? But they went in that game thinking that they were just going to bought the floor with them because they went 2-10 last year and didn't take Florida State seriously, and they just got out physical and outplayed. Because Kellen DeBoer has said all off season, and he said in the coaches show this week that he's seen the culture is where it needs to be. But he said it's got to translate on the field. And so my hope is that the culture is in the right spot and that we bounce back this week and we gain some perspective and play with some physicality and some effort. And then, we carry over that to the Wisconsin game and then carry over that for the rest of the season. That's the hope. Now, watching the game, and I mean, I'm telling you guys, for 24 hours after that game, my mind was in a blender because it was not anything that I expected to happen, and I was just trying to rack my brain to figure out what went wrong. And the only thing that I could think of was the Vanderbilt game when we looked like we lost the ability to know how to play football. And my thing that I want to see this week, I want to see the defense flying around with the ball and playing with that. I was a big Kobe Bryant fan, but playing with that Mamba mentality, playing with that aggression, that relentless effort. And so I hope that that's what this is, and that this is just one big nightmare, and that the nightmare will end come Saturday.
Oh yeah. Well,
Go ahead, Jackson.
and before we get to your point, Hunter, I'm gonna read our buddy Joey Foster's question to Bean. Y'all weren't saying that. Besides Bean, y'all weren't saying that in 2006 when Rich Rod turned the Bama job down. If he would have taken it, would we have hired Saban? Unfortunately, we wouldn't have gotten Saban during that time. Where Saban would have gone to, I don't know exactly, but it's not a reality I like to think about. But we've got a super chat from Cody Stevens. I don't know how long he's been watching Alabama The Voice College Football, but we appreciate the $10 super chat. And he says, DeBoer said they got away from the run because they weren't getting enough explosive runs. What? It's the SEC. You take 4 or 5 yards, which opens the pass game. Facepalm emoji. Well, we appreciate the $10 super chat contribution, good buddy.
My comments, what you said, Hunter, about the culture and everything. My thing is that it's all fine and dandy to have great culture off the field, supposedly in practice. We hear a lot of coaches say that you play great in practice, but if you don't play good in the game, it means nothing. And now we've seen 4 games under DeBoer and 14 games as a head coach where we played a vastly inferior opponent and we completely sucked.
And that cannot continue. I mean, it was one nightmare. It's been 4 nightmares at this point. Vanderbilt, we were favored by 25 points, and we lost. Oklahoma, we were favored by 21, and we lost by 20. Michigan, we didn't even show up for the bowl game. Michigan didn't even have a quarterback that could throw the ball more than 5 yards, and we lost. And then this game, it doesn't matter. Florida State 2-10. Okay. Literally everybody on planet Earth knew Florida State was going to be better this year. Everybody. Literally every single soul that watches a football game knew that Florida State was going to be better this year. That was going to happen. They were going to be better because of the fact that they were so bad last year, to coin Jackson's phrase, you're not going to go anywhere but up. They had to be better. They had to be better. Whether they are an ACC title contender or a 7-5 team, they were going to be better. And when you've got that quarterback, Castellanos, talking that smack toward Alabama, there is no reason why we've got footage after footage of clips on X and other social media and YouTube of guys on defense just barely trotting out there on defense. When plays are happening, they're barely running out there. That's why we got curb stomped, was because of the lack of effort. And that's sad. That should have never been the case.
And I agree.
Alabama had all the bulletin board material they needed to get those guys fired up to win that game.
And I agree.
I think if we're having like a 38-0 victory over Louisiana Monroe, we're good to go. But if we're having a 56-27 victory, our defense is in big trouble. And we got a $10 super chat from Joey Foster where he says, "No, Jackson, if Rich Rod took the Bama job, think of the West Virginia ties to Saban. And at that time, we were top 5 every year and we had the money." That's a good point. Because, I mean, it's like the Dolphins didn't get Drew Brees. And, the Dante Culpepper experiment wasn't working out. So I could definitely see that happen if Bama didn't get, like, if Bama was, like, not getting Saban, like, they got Rich Rod. Yeah, I could see. I mean, like, Nick Saban, West Virginia, and the Big East.
I don't think that even, I mean, appreciate the super chat, Joe. Appreciate you being there. I think, I mean, it is a fair hypothetical to think about. Yeah, there is a legitimate shot Nick Saban could have gone there. There's no way he would have won 6 national titles, though. Absolutely.
No,
not at West Virginia.
Won like
there is literally zero chance of that. Maybe he wins one if he's lucky. But West Virginia is not that type of program, and they weren't even then. They were better then than they are now, but they still, like, I know that is probably frustrating to hear, but it's just the way that it is. There is a big hierarchy in college football. No matter how good Kurt Signetti is at Indiana, he's never going to be able to get Indiana to a championship level. It's not even feasible. It's just not. They are not there as a program. They can get good, but they're not going to be elite. Nick Saban at West Virginia could have maxed that thing out. He could have taken him to Michigan State levels. What he did there, and then D'Antonio, what he did, took him to one playoff. Could have got him to that level probably. Got West Virginia consistently really, really good, but not to the level of, hey, we're winning national championships every other year and we're dominating everybody and blah. No, that just wouldn't have been the case. West Virginia's not that type of program. Alabama, even though they sucked in the 2000s, literally won a title with Stallings, was elite under Bear Bryant. We had the history, and it just took a little rejuvenation, and we were there. It took Saban 3 years to get us a title.
There we go.
But West Virginia is not that type of program. They're good. No. They're a solid program. But even if Saban would have went there, he wouldn't have had the career that he had. So,
West Virginia definitely would have been still dominating the Big East, and they would have made life very ugly for the Big 12. Like if Saban was there, that's for sure. And we appreciate the $10 super chat contribution from our good buddy Joey Foster.
Absolutely.
And we've got another super chat from Cade the Diesel Free for $2 where he says, "Alabama is doomed and they're a sinking ship," with the 2 crying laughing emojis. Well, we appreciate the $2 super chat contribution, Cade, but don't count the chickens for their hatch. Goodbye.
Joey's saying, "I agree. We're not the type of program that Rich Rod did it." Or he's saying Rich Rod's no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
I think that is so funny, Joey. You're trolling me so hard. That's funny.
Oh no,
But no, I'm
it's
not
all out
saying
of
that.
love.
Not saying that.
Oh man, sorry about interrupting you, Hunter. Man,
No problem. Well, I agree everything with what Jeffrey said. But I do agree with that. But I'm trying to think positive, and because there's so much negativity, and rightfully so. I mean, there's no excuse for what happened on Saturday. There's no excuse for it. But it is what it is. It happened. We've got to just focus on what's ahead. You can't go back and change that game. Um, but there's something that I was going to touch on too. So this is something that I was thinking toward the end of last season, and I was really thinking about it during the game this year of on Saturday. Um, I wonder if Kane Womack's defense is schematically and the scheme is if he's trying to be too fancy with it. And I asked a guy that I go to church with. He coached for 20 years at a community college as a defensive coordinator in California, and they moved down here to this area, and I've gotten to know him. And I asked him that question because he's been a defensive coordinator for 20 years, and during the game he said no. But then when I seen him at church on Sunday, he said, I was thinking about what you asked me, and he said, now that I really have thought about it and looked at the tape, he goes, you might be right. He said, because in this era of college football, you don't have the time to develop these kids like you did because of the portal. And with the portal, the way that it is, you don't have as long of time to really, develop guys like Saban did. There's no way that Reuben Foster and guys like that would allow what happened on Saturday to happen. But and part of that is because Nick Saban had the time to develop the talent that he acquired. And so I think that we need to simplify our defense in a way that because coaches can get too fancy with it sometimes, and thinking that, oh, this looks cool, or just trying to kind of show off. Well, if showing off is what's getting our tails whooped on Saturday, then I don't care about looking fancy. I want to win ball games. And so that's kind of my thoughts on the defense, and that's kind of want to get y'all's perspective.
Go
well,
ahead, Jackson.
yeah, we definitely need to make sure we have a great showing on Saturday night against losing Monroe and Wisconsin. Like what we really need to do is make sure we have a dominant victory and make sure we're not like allowing a bunch of points. Like we don't want to be allowing 30 points, 24 points, nothing. Like allow like 14 points or less.
I watched Kane Womack's defense at Indiana, and one year he was there. He had one of the best defenses in college football because the schematics that he was throwing out there, just blitz heavy packages like every single play, every single down. And Indiana was basically boom or bust, where they would either give up basically a 75-yard touchdown or they would turn the ball over or turn the opponent over. Like, for example, they played Ohio State when they had Fields that year, and Fields turned it over like 3 times. So back then, when he was at Indiana, he ran that type of defense because he knew that Indiana's players defensively weren't that good. So if they just like all out blitzed over and over, they would cause issues for the other team. And that's how they had the 8-5 season in 2019. They were pretty good. In the 2020 season, like everybody talks about Penix and the offense, but Womack's defense was a big reason why those teams were actually pretty good. When I watch whatever I'm watching right now with Alabama is not the same. I really don't know what to say. The defense just isn't playing hard enough. I don't really think it's even schematics that much. I mean, I could be wrong. I honestly, since that game, I haven't watched a single bit of tape from that because I don't want to watch it again.
I agree.
After the game, I watched a couple clips on Twitter of the lack of effort, and I was done. I haven't seen any of it. But
just watching that game from what I remember, it didn't seem like the schematics were the major problem. They might have been part of it, but to me, if the effort improves, they'll be fine
Well,
because they got the players. The defense is supposedly better than our offense by far, but the effort was terrible.
one of the other things too is you got to think about it this way too.
Mm-hmm.
Under Saban, he ran a different style of defense.
Mm-hmm.
So from them players, a lot of these players were Saban's players, on defense. And so from going from the Saban defense to this defense, there might be a transition period. And let's I'll really get frustrated this week with all the talk of, oh, we got to let him go. He needs to be Kellen DeBoer needs to be fired. L- Let's just chill out for a second because this is not only is yes, it's year two, but even in year two, you're still having uh to get things in the way that you want them to be, so that you maximize your coaching ability from a program that had the same coach for almost 20 years. So there's still a lot of fundamental things that are there that he has to go to. And look at the guy's track record. I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. I'm not jumping off the Kalen DeBoer train. Now, I might be standing up out of my seat a little bit, but I'm not jumping off the train just yet. Let's give him, the rest of this year, see what happens. And then next year, is really when we should see him really take this team to a whole nother level. And so I've been frustrated all week with that kind of talk, and I think it's just overhyped and people overreacting. But I don't know. I've just thought about that from the defensive perspective at the end of last year, watching some games, and I encourage y'all to go back and watch those last few games last year, and to compare that to what you've seen, whether you watched the tape from Saturday or not, but just mentally what you saw on Saturday. And I think you'll see what I'm saying, because I do think there is some truth to that. Of that he's trying to be too. I don't know the fancy's the word, but taking Saban's system was kind of a very basic, base defense, and then he would go from the nickel to some to the dime and to other things like that. And I just think that maybe he just needs to simplify the defense for these players. And then as he gets his own recruits, he can start to develop that defense into the guys that he's getting from a freshman, to develop and to kind of integrate his defense into, the program. So that's kind of what I was thinking along those lines of defense.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm with you, especially on the part with giving DeBoer more time. I'm all for giving DeBoer more time. I mean, I don't want to be that program where we're just firing coaches left and right now
No.
because they're not saving. That's problematic. That's not going to get us anywhere. But the issue is that, like I said, I'm just worried that once you lose enough of the fan base, it doesn't matter what he does. Anything short of winning a title, nothing that he's going to do is going to be able to get the fans back on board. I mean, we're seeing people on social media trash DeBoer because the desk that in his office is not messy like Saban's was, meaning that
Yes,
you
I've
were
seen that
busy
too.
at work. It's like, oh, it's clean. Anybody with a clean desk, it's like, okay, every single little thing. Like people are probably going to start complaining about DeBoer's hair follicles next. I mean, it's just you know what I'm saying? Like the fan base is already like almost cooked with him, and that's what I'm worried about. Literally, like if this next game is nothing short of a 50-0 win, it's literally like it's not going to be good. He's got to get the fan base back. They got to at least go 9-3. At
Right.
least. I mean, Mike Ford is correct. Everybody's turning on. I'm not yet, but there's problems. But he needs to be
Neither
able
am
to
I.
have the time to fix them, and he needs to fix them. I believe he can because I do think he's a great coach. But if the fan base is already turned on him, it's not going to matter.
Well, and two, you got to think about it this way too. The people that you see making those ridiculous comments and stuff, they're just what Josh Pate calls as casuals. And me, I believe that me, you, and Jackson over here, we're the true, Bama fans who are going to stick by this team. I don't know how old y'all guys are, but I remember the Sheila days.
27. I'll be 28 in
21.
4 weeks.
Okay, I'm 29. I'm about to be 30, and I can remember the Sheila days.
Mhm.
And I remember what it was like to be down in the dumps. And I've been a Bama fan all my life. So when you see the people making those comments, those are people who are, like you said, they're not really fans. They're just jumping on the Alabama train when we started winning. And so as long as he don't lose the core fan base, he'll be fine.
Oh
But
yeah.
you're gonna lose the casuals, as Josh Speight says, no matter what. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
if he, so like I said, I'm not sold. Not jumping off the Kalen DeBoer train yet. I am, just shell shocked from what I've seen Saturday, but there was some positive, and I will say, I heard you say something earlier, Jeffrey, that I disagree with.
Mhm.
You said that the only person you thought did any good in that game was Jeremy Bernard.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree with that he did really well, but I'll tell you a player that I also thought did a really good job was Kevin Riley. I thought he did a good job in that game.
Yeah.
Um, and so him and Bernard should be given their flowers for that game. Everybody else, yeah, they should be running 10,000 miles this week. And you know, I just want to see. I want to see effort on Saturday. Is what I really want to see. Yes, Jackson's right. We can't let them score. A gazillion points. But I just want to see effort. I want to see guys flying to the ball, and I want to see them. Frankly, I want to see them pissed off, and and just being physical. And if we can do that, and we can improve on that from this week to the Wisconsin game, and then we get a week off, and then Georgia game, I still think we're probably going to lose to Georgia, but I think we can make that game a lot closer than what me and you would
Oh
probably
yeah.
think it is right now.
Mhm. Yeah,
Well,
the thing that I'm concerned about, last thing, the thing I'm concerned about is that we do show up for that Georgia game, and maybe even win it somehow. But then again, these inferior teams that we're playing and these inferior opponents, the lack of effort just keeps cropping up because that's an Auburn problem. That's been an Auburn problem for 6, 7 years. When they fire Malzahn, where, let's play hard against Georgia, let's play hard against Bama, let's throw everything against the wall at them and almost win. But then everybody else, like, who cares? Then we go 5-7. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I don't want to see. I don't want us losing to Missouri. I don't want us losing to Vanderbilt. I don't want us losing to these crappy opponents, these mid opponents. I mean, Vandy's better. Okay, we get it. They're better, but they're not a world beater. We still should win by 30.
yes.
It's these opponents. It doesn't matter how good Florida State is. We were better than them. We should win that game. If we beat Georgia, but then we're losing to these type of teams, that's almost more problematic because that shows you that you actually are capable of being good. Last year, we knocked off Georgia, but yet we lost to 3 horrible teams.
And the
Horrible.
game at LSU, we played
In
great
that
against
game.
LSU. You know,
Oh,
and so yeah, you're exactly right. Um we can't get comfortable after one solid performance. We got to stay hungry, and
Absolutely.
so
Every game's got to matter the same way. I remember when Nick Saban would drill home the Citadel. I don't care that it's the Citadel. They could beat us. Like we got to, and people make fun of them. But it's like, okay, Nick Saban was hammering home again and again and again that every game mattered. And that you got to play with the same intensity versus Georgia that you play against the Citadel. And that's what we're
do,
not seeing under DeBoer. He's got to find a way to get that to resonate with the players, and they got to do it.
well,
there we go.
and one last thing before I go, I have heard I've talked to a source who knows somebody who is in the know in Tuscaloosa, and he said that Kalen DeBoer's uh attitude and temperament, his overall temperament as a human being, is not to raise his voice and not to get all rah rah. Now, I specifically remember a couple years ago we played Chattanooga, and it was the fourth quarter, and Nick Saban was giving one of his famous ass chewings to one of the players because they missed an assignment. And I'm not saying that Caleb Lord's got to be all rah rah and yelling, but you've got to show some level of emotion and um discipline to your players. And you don't even have to do it in a Nick Saban fashion, but there's got to be some accountability to be had for the lack of effort, and that's the thing that I was the most disappointed in was the lack of effort. And if we would have lost that game, but we were playing our hearts out, that would have been one thing. But just not playing with any effort is just really what just kind of made it even that much worse. But anyway, guys, I'll let y'all get to some more callers, and we'll talk to y'all again next Thursday.
I'll see you
Appreciate it,
next
Hunter.
Thursday. Goodbye.
You have a great
Right.
night.
And then we're gonna have a 8 minutes or less call with Caden the Diesel Freak. And then we will get to the Godfather of the SEC, Zachary Wilges, and Lucas Hill to round out the show. How you doing tonight, goodbye?
Everything is being foreseen as whatever the heck you say.
Jackson, I told y'all you were going to lose to Florida State. I told you and Jeffrey that you were going to lose to Florida State. You didn't believe me at first. But guess what? You lost. So get in my credit, boys.
All right, you got your credit. You got your credit.
Got
Oh, man.
Godfather down there.
Oh God.
Godfather's
Oh,
just
man.
mad that his Crimson Tide, his beloved Crimson Tide, lost to Florida State. And I predicted it. Yet he didn't think it was going to be possible.
Oh man. Note to self, we gotta set up a Godfather the SEC, Caden the Diesel Freak debate for a
No,
future.
you don't want to debate him, man. You don't want to debate him.
Well, did I tell you in the super chat? I just put in that super chat that said Alabama zoomed and they're a sinking ship. Well, I'm telling you, they're a sinking ship, boys.
Are we just taking on water, or are we the Titanic?
The Titanic. You guys are really sinking like the Titanic.
Don't throw the bait. Don't count the chickens for their hatch. There's plenty of football left in the season, goodbye.
Well, unfortunately, I know the next game you guys are going to lose, and I'm praying to God it's ULM. But most definitely, it's going to be Georgia,
We are not
Vanderbilt.
losing to ULM. If we lose to ULM, the board is probably cooked. We are not losing to ULM.
No.
Well, and you know what? When I saw Alabama lose to Florida State, I was laughing my tail off, and I said, "I'm betting Jackson Johnson is somewhere down there in Alabama, crying his tail off, saying we should have never lost that game. We should have never lost." Crying, moaning, complaining. Oh man, oh man. I said I could bet he's just crying down there in Alabama.
Well, it's nice to know I live rent free in your head, good buddy.
I was just like thinking, it'd be hilarious to just see because I was like, I told him. Yeah, he thought I was crazy for saying that they were going to lose to Florida State.
Oh man. Well, we put up a poll on Alabama with the Voice College Football, asking everyone in the chat, would you like to see a Caden the Diesel Freak and Godfather the SEC debate one another on a future show?
Godfather does not want to debate Caden the Diesel Freak. I'm telling you right now, because there's nothing to say. It's just gonna be a bunch of insults, man. It's not gonna pan the way you think it's gonna pan, Jack.
Oh,
And you know what? I'm in the mood that I never really tell a joke, but I'm going to tell a joke anyways. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Caleb?
Caleb who?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't understand it, but I'm just like, okay.
Because who is Caleb DeBoer? He's the coach that lost to Florida State, and now Alabama fans are wanting him fired. I told everybody, do not overrate Caleb DeBoer as a head coach as soon as he got hired. But no, everybody, including yourself, ignored me, thinking I was crazy. And
Who should Alabama have hired then, Caden?
You know what? I had no clue.
Of course you don't.
Exactly.
Because I knew when Saban left, it was going to be a sinking ship from there. I knew it was going to be a sinking ship. And Jackson says, "Don't count the chickens before they hatch." Well, unfortunately, Jackson, I'm telling you now, it's a sinking ship going down. So I'm just gonna say this: na 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 na. Hey hey hey, goodbye. Them boys are going down 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 in the deep, and I'm gonna be partying all night long when I know Alabama is no longer
Well,
the team that we know.
well, here's how you'll know that the Bama downfall is official. Nobody's storming the field every time they beat Bama. So we still
Well,
can't
and
wear
then
that
here's the other
same
thing
number.
too, Jackson. Here's the
Huh?
other thing.
Okay.
It'll be when you are on when you Jeffrey the Godfather of the SC are on Twitter crying, and I swear it's gonna be the most hilarious entertainment I've ever seen since what was it? Um, since I made my younger cousin upset for insulting his TV show. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
You're trying to tell me, Cade, that nothing will be funnier than us crying on social media. Like, do you not have any other enjoyment in your life?
Well, I mean, between Notre Dame fans going berserk, and
Doesn't mean you're gonna win the bet, by the way, with you know who, our good buddy. It does not mean you're gonna win
No.
just yet.
There's still plenty of
Yeah.
football left. It's week 1,
well,
not week
Jackson
11.
Jeffrey, as a good friend of mine and the teacher of mine, Ian McDermott, who also played Darth Sidious, the Emperor, says everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Well,
Yeah,
unfortunately,
I already said it for you at the beginning when you came on. I knew it was coming somewhere. I knew it was coming.
Jeffrey, you don't say it as well as I do, because let's be honest, Darth Sidious was my teacher for a little bit, so I know a thing or two more than you would ever know. So, but
Well,
unfortunately, you didn't.
I know you sniff diesel gas, so I mean that's about all I need to know.
Well, Caden, anything else you got before we get to our next caller, good buddy?
Well, have fun on that sinking ship, because I'm going to be watching my Buckeyes win another national title, then another, then another, then another, and I'll be saying,
It's gonna
I
get
wonder what
boring if
happened to
that
them Bama
happens,
boys.
Kane, right? It's gonna get boring if Ohio State's winning all these natties, right?
No, it's going to be sweet. And when Bama and Notre Dame go when they go 8-4, 7-5, I'm going to be like, well, so long to those morons. I'm going to be partying with more rings on my fingers.
You're not gonna have the rings literally on your finger. That's metaphorical. Because I don't think you're on the football team, man.
Well, see, here's the thing, Jeffrey. Alabama's not going to be the same team. Alabama's going to be whatever they were back before Coach Saban coached. Garbage. That's all this fan base is, garbage. And Jeffrey, to you, Indiana's is just as garbage as Alabama.
Alabama's better than Indiana, man. Like, come on.
Oh, I didn't stutter about it, Jeffrey. And you know I have the guts to say it. And if you want to come on my show and tell me otherwise, I dare you to, son. I dare you
right
to.
now, Alabama's better than Indiana. As much as I like Indiana, Alabama, the football program
until you all do something miraculous, and if God saved you guys like he did to Tim Tebow, I don't want to hear it from you boys.
Okay,
I don't want to hear it.
We gotta get to our next caller. Say goodnight, Caden. Say goodnight, Caden.
Goodbye, loser.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man, and you wonder why people wanted Texas to win. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, that's all I have to say. You wonder why people wanted Texas to win.
Well, I think it's time for Cade's bedtime, but we'll definitely see him next Thursday. And we got the Godfather, the
Appreciate
SEC,
it, Caden.
And we're going to go ahead and bring on Zachary Wilges along with Godfather, the SEC, and we're going to give them about like 12 minutes, because they've had to wait a long time. And then we're going to and we're gonna save the best for last with Lucas Hill. And if anybody wants to call in, come on in, but we'll keep it 5 minutes after Lucas Hill. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing good. How you doing, Godfather?
You're muted, Godfather.
Why do you think I'm muted? I don't want to hear that shit spewing out of his mouth.
Oh man, yeah, it's real. The thing is, they hated us when we were good, and
Well,
now they hate us now that we're not good. Supposedly, man, I don't think we're trash yet. We can still hopefully turn this thing around, but it isn't looking good. But no matter what, people are gonna hate us. We're Alabama.
Yeah, well,
I think everything is foreseen as Caden has foreseen.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
he's
but we know he's funny, man. It's like we always get a laugh out of his calls, man.
It's funny, man. I love it.
He's watched too many Star Wars movies in his aunt's basement. That's what he's done. Caden, I want to ask you a question. Do you live in your aunt's or mother's basement? Where do you live at?
According to him, he's always hanging out in Panama City.
Do you have a day job? Do you have a day job?
Well, TJ's his kryptonite, so it's like
yeah, Luke.
TJ has him acting right, so that's funny though.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Trump in Washington in the big beautiful bill.
Yep.
Where's the real? Where's the real when I need him?
Yeah, we need the real MVP.
The real, I need you in the big beautiful bill. Y'all go ahead and talk. I'll listen, and y'all go ahead.
Well, Zachary, we'll start with you. Like, what's on your mind for the Crimson Tide, and then we will get to Godfather after Zachary.
Yes, we've been. I've been watching practice and everything, and everything. And I think we're doing good. We're going out and trying, at least putting in effort to fix the problems that Alabama had last week with the lack of effort. And going off what Hunter said, yes, Kalen DeBoer don't show the rah like Nick Saban did, but he does it more so. He does get onto the players, but it's more so behind closed doors. We need it out in the open, to where the fan base knows that at least he's doing something about it, whether it's discipline or whatever. We need it out in the forefront, like Saban. Not necessarily like Saban, but more discipline out in the front to show that he does care and that he's trying to keep the culture at Alabama.
Absolutely.
Godfather, what do you think, man?
Everybody's gonna coach different. I mean, I saw a lot of coaches come and go at Alabama. A lot of other teams in college football, we all have, us old guys have. Yeah, we've had a lot of fans jump on the wagon since Alabama's. I heard a Tennessee fan say something Monday night while they were winning. I thought to myself, Tennessee has beaten Alabama one time in 18 years. One time, let me say that again, in 18 years. You ain't got much room to talk. First of all, it's like Vanderbilt. Yeah, I mean, a blind hog will find an acorn every now and then.
I mean, it's like, when don't Tennessee fans run their mouth? Like, that's what I'm like.
One time in 18 years, and they're sitting up on the stump, crowing like a damn little rooster at about 4:30 in the morning. I mean, all these coaches are going to coach different. You're never going to find another coach like Coach Bryant. Well, we did. We found Nick Saban. No, you didn't. Nick Saban coached completely, probably different than what Paul Bear Bryant coached. He didn't go up in the tower and watch the foot scrimmage. Coach Bryant was in that tower every day. That was his philosophy. That was his. And I mean, I can't trash DeBoer I'm not going to get on here and call for his resignation. I know a lot of the boosters. A lot of them come here from several of them from Jasper, Alabama. And they may be some concern. I don't know. It's none of my business. I'll let them hash that out. That's their business. But I'm not going. I can't get on here and bash the man because I can't go down there and put a resume in to be a coach or a head football coach or something like that. All these guys is like myself. They're armchair quarterbacks. I just met a few of the guys along the way. I'm old, so that's the only difference between me and an armchair quarterback. I just got lucky, you know. And I'm an Alabama fan if they never win another football game. Period. Case closed. I'm not rooting for Tennessee. I'm not rooting for Auburn. I'm not rooting for LSU.
LSU?
I'm not rooting for another team in the Southeastern Conference.
No.
Period.
And that's a true fan, folks, right there.
Period. Now, there were other college football teams as I grew up I liked to watch play football. They were.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched them. But when it comes to Alabama, there's only one college in this country, and that's the University of Alabama. So if anybody has any doubts about the old Godfather, they better think twice because I can't bash the man. I can't do that. I ain't walked a mile in his shoes. I don't know what he's facing with his kids. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. I think it's really up under his fingernails, and you can tell it by the way he looks and the gestures and stuff. And he's feeling the HEAT heat, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah, he has to win against Louisiana Monroe. You lose. Well, did Nick Saban not lose against Louisiana Monroe?
Yes, year one, November 17th, 2007.
Have we forgotten? Has our minds just went completely blank?
No.
It took him 3 years to build a team down there. I think it take Kalen DeBoer probably 4.
Huh?
At least.
Yep.
Nick was just a little better motivator than DeBoer might be. I don't know. Everybody's different, like I said. I don't know. I'm not down there. I haven't been to a practice in a long time. Since Coach Saban was there, I got to go in and watch some practices. And yeah, it was intense. They didn't play around. There wasn't no jungle jive music playing on the down speakers. There wasn't no country music. There wasn't no chewing. Yeah, you might see one of them players light a cigarette up. I ain't fooling you. They were some tough guys down there.
Oh.
But Saban let them play the role, but they knew how far that rope went, and they knew he was in charge, just like Coach Bryant and a lot of other coaches. So we'll see what happens. I think Alabama will be all right after Saturday and play against Wisconsin and Georgia. I don't know. Maybe Alabama loses against Georgia. Reckon Georgia owes us one. You know,
they'll be bragging, I'm sure, if that happens.
how many times we whooped their butt. So I don't know. Y'all go ahead. I mean, that's about all I can say. I can't trash the man and the coaching staff. I'm not down there. I don't know what's going on.
I agree with you 100%, Godfather, on the fact when you talk about, again, Saban with UL Monroe. I mean, coaches used to be given time. And Alabama was different back then because we were coming off the Shula era. We were coming off struggles. So it's like Saban was given that time. Now, because of where we're at, where Saban had us, it's like that's inexcusable now. And that's what's frustrating. It's like it's a new culture, it's a new coach, it's a new system. You got to treat it the same way, but people aren't because they're like, well, hey, Alabama's way up here. So why are we suddenly down here? You know, it's not like you're starting way down here and you're building. You know, that's the difference, unfortunately, why DeBoer's not getting the same treatment. You know, if Alabama – the 3 previous seasons before DeBoer became the head coach were 4-8, 3-9, and 2-10, and then he came in and went 9-3 year one. People be praising him and all that. What a turnaround! It is what it is. He took the job, unfortunately. So even though he's got all this pressure, and I hate that he has all this pressure, and he took the job. So he knew what he was getting into when he took the job. Everybody knew the person that followed Saban was going to have incredible pressure to win at a high level. Not as high of a level as Saban, because nobody's going to do that, but at a really high level. And he knew that when he took the job. Literally, Washington tried to give him an extension where basically he was going to make
basically almost as much money, if not as much money as he's making right now at Alabama, but he signed on for the job. So all that pressure that he's feeling right now, he knew that when he signed up. He's got to find a way to overcome it. I mean, I hate it, but he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was signed on to when he took the job.
Yeah.
Facts, Jeffrey. Uh, uh, and I'm a little bit older than Jackson and Jeffrey. So I remember, the Mike Shula era and all that, and before that, So I remember the years we was going 4-8, 2-10, having struggle seasons. The year I was born was the Gene Stallings' first year at or second year at Alabama. So I grew up. My I was a year old when Gene Stallings won his national championship at Alabama in '92. So I mean, I've been through the lows just like Godfather has, and I've been through the highs just like everyone else. So I can't. I'm not bashing DeBoer. I believe in DeBoer. I think he can turn this team around. It's just, do the players want to jump on board and listen to what he has to teach them and coach them? Is the problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm officially old now.
No worries, man.
Super old. It's all your fault, Jeffrey. It's all your fault. All your
Wish
fault.
there was something I could do.
No, somebody says something about celebrating birthdays. I'll start celebrating birthdays when I start going backward. But anyway, I love all y'all. It's always good to be on the show on Thursday night. Listen, the sky's not falling. The
It's
sky's
not.
not falling. Get a hold of yourself. Act like your age, not your shoe size. Act your age, not your shoe size. Once again, the sky's not falling. Alabama's going to be fine. Give the man a chance. Like I said, I have to give him an extra year in front of Saban. It's two different coaches. You done tell that. So you're going to probably have two different time periods. And the SEC's hard to win in. And if FSU winds up in the 12-team playoff, what are you going to say then?
Yeah.
You're going to look like somebody's going to have to eat crow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I
Somebody's
think
going
they're
to,
gonna make Miami look like hell, honestly.
I mean, so we don't know what's going to happen. This is the first game. That's just the way it is. But anyway, like I said, it's good being on here on Thursday night, and maybe we'll catch one of them late night shows again where we can bash everybody in the country like we did the other night.
Hey, that would be great. That would be great.
That'd be
I
great.
will definitely be having one of those late night streams coming up soon. So.
Oh yeah.
And they won't take Mark Rogers' channel down. We can do what we want to. We just don't want to we don't want to get Jeffrey took down. Anyway, I love all y'all. Y'all be safe and support your team Saturday. I don't care if they win.
Absolutely.
I don't care if they win by 1 point. That's a win. You got to move on to next week. Try to get better.
There you go.
That's the way it is. I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. I'll catch y'all next week.
You have a great
Catch
night,
you next
Godfather.
week, good buddy.
Appreciate it.
Well, and, any words you got for tonight, Zach?
Yes, I wanted to speak about Alabama Richie. He was talking about the run game. The run game, the reason why we went away from the run game is because we got put in a situation to where we had to rely on the pass game to come back because we couldn't utilize the run game to come back. We had to rely on the pass game, and that's why there was 47 passes or however many passes we had Saturday, and Ty was playing well, and but Ty was holding on to the ball too. We was looking up. There's a comment on X or Twitter, whatever y'all want to call it, and and it showed the quarterbacks around the SEC and the time they had in the pocket. And Ty had the longest time in the pocket. Uh, he was averaging like 3.3 seconds per snap, and holding on to the ball and standing in the pocket. So he wasn't delivering the ball quick enough and making the correct decisions and reading the defense fast enough to put us in the best position when he made bad plays. You know, because I can't say he played perfect because he didn't. He did make bad plays. It was, and the offensive line play. Everybody played great, but Proctor. Proctor played great in spells, but he did not play great from the first snap to the last snap. And so Formby had a couple plays that where he got beaten. Other than that, he got it fixed, you know, and held his own pretty well. Gino was played great, played good. Cam Dewberry played good for his first start at Alabama. You know, I know he started at A&M, but A&M's a completely different team than Alabama. You know, you got a whole different standard to live up to playing for Bama than you do A&M. So, but that's all I have to say. I'm gonna hop off here, guys. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, Zachary. We'll be seeing you next week. And we
appreciate
got
it.
Lucas Hill from SEC Final Whistle and Inside the Huddle and South Carolina Live right here on the Voice of College Football Network. How you doing tonight, good buddy? Where's the mustache, man? Like, are you going for the clean shaven?
Yeah, I was thinking something looked different.
We had a broadcast at our school, so I had to get all clean shaven to be on a news desk of some sort.
Oh man,
what's up, fellas? How we doing
it's
tonight?
going pretty good,
Doing
man.
good.
We
Despite
gotta
everything,
do
we're
like a
doing
poll.
good.
We need to start doing like a poll of did you like the mustache the mustache era of Lucas Hill or the clean shaven?
Jax is
era?
gonna start
Yes,
a poll for
please,
everything.
please. Hey, I'd be all in for it, to be honest with you.
There you go.
But
Like Jeopardy did that for Alex Trebek a few years back when he was having the beard. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do that for everything.
Can we go? Can we go? No hat for Jeffrey or hat for Jeffrey?
That's a good one. I like that. I like where you're going.
I don't wear a hat on my channel.
Well,
Oh wait, you can't show your bias on that one. There you go. That's a good idea,
I
Jeffrey.
try to be a lot less biased over there.
And to be fair, for South Carolina too, I got to put on some more garnet in black or something like that. I'm tired of wearing these daggum Gymshark shirts. I've got like 2 South Carolina shirts that I bought in the last 2 weeks. And so now I'm slowly starting to merge into that fan base, which is somewhat concerning, but at the same time, it's somewhat it's fun at the same time. Having been from Baton Rouge. By the way, guys, ULM plus 36.5. Put your money on it. They're going to find a way to cover. It's going to be a 35-3 ball game at the end of the day. But guys, give me 2 minutes of your time, uninterrupted. All right, I got my timer right here. It's going right now. Here we go. Ready? Alabama, in 5 losses that you've had, you've given up defensively 196 rushing yards a game. In your 9 wins in the Kalen DeBoer era, you have allowed just 119. The biggest thing that I take away from all this, your line of scrimmage, absolute dog water on Saturday. You could not own the line of scrimmage whatsoever. First drive, flawless. And we talked about this on Saturday night. Guys, and many of these Alabama fans in the chat, they didn't want to hear. In fact, I texted Jackson this, and he was like, nope, I don't think that's the truth. But you know what? You're entitled to your own opinion. And guess what? I'm going to share my opinion right now. This is a soft program. When we have players that are supposed to be highlight players, Ryan Williams coming in with an anxiety bear or whatever that is. Is it a bear or is that a freaking dragon? Oh, wait, that's right. I did say that it was uninterrupted, didn't I? But anyways, I mean, we got that. We have almost no effort being displayed in pursuit. It's a joke. At the end of the day, I don't even know if it's a coaching issue. It's a personnel issue. But I will say this. Last couple games, Kane Womack in rush defense has gotten his ass handed to. And in my opinion, This also stems down to Freddie Roach, your D-line coach. He could be a big factor in that one as well. Been there since 2020. Got no disrespect towards Coach Roach. But I will say, developing defensive linemen is much harder to do than when it's all said and done. I'm a former defensive lineman. I know how that is. And so when I look at where we are when it comes to this Bama program, and I see where you could be in the next couple weeks. You got 13 weeks to fix it. Right now, you are a soft program. You are a clown of a program. When you allowed this to infest your locker room, when you say in the offseason that, oh, we're not wearing jewelry in meetings, we're not being allowed to be late for meetings anymore. That's the culture that you have set for yourself. That's the program you are going to be until you change it. Kalen DeBoer, you better get control of that locker room. I'm not saying you're going to get fired within the next 3 years, but if things don't change quickly, if you don't regain control of your locker room, you better be ready for the heat to come down from Alabama fans. Guys, thank you so much for that. Y'all have a great rest of the show. Y'all figure it out.
We will, man. You have an awesome night. Sleep well, stay safe, stay warm, and we'll be seeing you Saturday night on the SEC Final Whistle after the Alabama postgame show. Good, buddy.
And I agree with him. I mean, I've been very vocal on our last 4 shows now. Saturday night postgame, Monday night show, primetime live last night. Tonight, I've been hammering home. I'm with Lucas. I've called out the softness. I've called out the lack of effort on defense, and especially the run defense. Again, we let Castellanos run all over us. I've called out all of that, and I'm not a fair weather fan. I'll be here whether we suck and go 0-12, or I'll be here if we go undefeated and win a national title. I'm just frustrated because I know we can be better than what we are showcasing. We have better players than what we are showcasing. We have supposedly better coaches than what is being displayed. From that standpoint, everything has been underwhelming. The last few, games, the Michigan game last year, the Oklahoma game, the Vandy game, this game, it's got to stop. We can't keep having these subpar performances, especially when those subpar performances are based off effort. It should never be an effort problem. If we get beat, we get beat. Everybody gets beat. Even Ohio State gets beat. They have. But the way we're losing and how we're losing is problematic. And I agree with Lucas 100%. If it does not get fixed, then Kalen DeBoer will not be our head coach in a couple years. It will not be the case.
Agreed. But I can tell you a sure thing that's coming up. Well, there's always a sure thing, especially when you got some predictions to make. If you're looking to make some really good predictions, always go to Mark Rogers, Steve Dace, Matt Zimick, Corey Brada, and Steve Merrill for the Under the Radar Pits of the Week. And the doppelganger of Mark Rogers is going to tell you why you should.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Brada, Matt Zimick, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
And to start off the 2025 season, Mark Rogers is 16-6 on the money line, which is basically 72%, and he is 15-7 in against the spread. Now, let's look at what that is in percentage, shall we? Now, I know that's above 65%, but let's check it out anyway. Well, what do you know? 68.18%. That's pretty good. So if you're looking for some top-notch predictions, go to Mark Rogers, as he's got some top-notch picks all over the place. And of course, before we head on out here, we're telling you about the YouTube tiers for Alabama with the Voice College Football. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and live chat, and custom emojis to use in comments in the live chat. And you get member shout-outs like our good buddy, the Godfather of the SEC, where he's kind of like, I need more headache medicine. No worries, man. You'll get some pretty soon, man. And of course, you got the $4.99 a month tier, the Saban Disciples, where you'll have priority replies to comments and access to monthly hangout. From yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports, and Coach Smook. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor this miserable Bama weather will push stops us from fulfilling your content requests, all right here on Alabama Voice College Football. There's that number one thumb finger, ladies and gentlemen. There's that number one thumb finger. Let's go. Well, yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I think the people have, 71% want to see, 70% want to see a debate between Caden the Diesel Freak and the Godfather of the ACC in a future college show. Well, we'll definitely make sure to make that happen at some point, but it'll likely be a short one. It's not going to be like something you see on like Zero Hedge or something on television or on C-SPAN, but it's going to be quite educational. That I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a $4.99 super sticker from the Godfather of the SEC. We thank you very much for that super sticker, good buddy, man. We appreciate it. Oh, man.
Appreciate the super chat or the super sticker, Godfather. Always.
Oh, man. We
Appreciate
like
Joey, super chat. Appreciate Cody, super chat. And Kay, the Diesel Free. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody for being in the chat tonight as well.
And we appreciate Doreen from Ladies of College Football reposting this stream on my X account on @/Twitter. Thank you so much for giving the shout out. Thank you to Amber Holly, for liking and reposting. We thank you all for tuning in to the 48th edition of the Alabama Call-In Show on Alabama with the Voice College Football. Well, before we head on out of here and before we see what really happened on the Cowboys-Eagles, Jeffrey, this is still going on. Well, we'll catch a little bit of that. But Jeffrey, what have you got going on this week, good buddy?
Probably tomorrow, not guaranteed, but I'm going to try to go live with Will and D on my YouTube channel, Only Talk Sports, and we're going to be doing our Week 2 college football predictions. I have not gotten my Week 2 college football predictions in yet. They got to come in, right? Like, the games start on Saturday. There's not really anything substantial tomorrow, so we're not really missing that much. But Saturday, got the games, going to be predicting those games with Will and D. Always a great time there. I do have my NFL Week 1 predictions. I made a video the other day on my YouTube channel for Week 1, predicting every single NFL game, including the game that's on right now. I even have a short of that game. If you don't want to watch the full game, I got the short of that game. And I got the short for the Chiefs and Chargers as well, if you want to go check that out. And shorts always releasing on my channel. Got tons of content coming. So definitely appreciate all the support you guys have been sending me over there. I'm getting closer to 3,000 subs. So definitely would appreciate if you guys give me a subscribe over there. Also follow me on X as well. And definitely, as always, appreciate all the support and love over Alabama Voice of College Football. We're getting really close to 3,000 subs. Less than 100 subs away from 3,000 subs.
97 subs last I checked. So
97 subs away. We cannot do it without you guys. Appreciate all the support.
Agreed.
And absolutely, even when Alabama's down, you guys always helping bringing it back up.
We thank you so much for tuning in. Tell your friends, family, and the cashiers at Publish about the magic we're creating all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football. And tell the cashiers at Publish about the magic Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports is bringing on his Week 1 predictions, asking about whether the Eagles are going to blow out the Cowboys. And so far, it's not looking like a blowout because I am watching it on my phone on the Peacock app, just seeing how close that game is, and everybody's just kind of getting heated with one another. Oh, my God. Well, oh, my God, they've had a weather delay. Well,
That's
just
why the game's still on. I've been watching the weather delay for the last hour.
Smart man. Smart man. Oh man. And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 314 subs away from that magic number 1,000, where I host my show, The Jacksonian. I've got Pits Analysis, The Final Whistle with Austin, and another season of The Buzzer Beater with Will and D. And for more updates, what I've got going on in Alabama with the Voice of College Football, The Jacksonian, the weekly calls on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises. Check me out on Jackson VOCFB on X/Twitter and on Instagram and threads at Jackson Johnson 543-908. And check out the Alabama Crimson Tide Live Show, Primetime Live, and the Alabama Postgame Show on your favorite audio platform on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Please leave a rating and a review, and check out Jeffrey, Smoke, and myself on the postgame show for Alabama, Louisiana Monroe, few minutes before the game ends. We'll be covering all right here on Alabama at the Voice of College Football. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss another video or another episode whatsoever. And we'll be seeing you soon. And roll
Tide.